here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Swag.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome, race fans. Saturday Night Racing League debut live here on VSPEED. I hope you guys are as excited as I am to bring you flag-to-flag coverage all season long. Race 1 at Daytona, 80 laps, 200 miles. I'm Bradley Cooper, joined alongside Alec Martinez here tonight on VSPEED. And Alec, Saturday Night Racing League kind of stems. You're going to have some familiar names from other leagues that we've broadcasted here at VSPEED. We're talking about Jeff Wright. We're talking about Reggie Ortega. We're talking about Mark McFadden. A lot of familiar faces here at this league.
You're right. Familiar faces indeed. Different numbers, little different race cars here, as you can see. Wide shot, a beautiful shot of the World Center of Racing here in Daytona Beach, Florida, the Daytona International Speedway. 80 laps, 200 miles to kick off the season debut of the Saturday Night Racing League. I can't tell you. I'm excited to call this with you. It's a big moment for this league. Obviously, getting things kicked off is tough, and they've been able to do it, and really happy to have VSPEED being able to broadcast it. I'm glad you were able to have me come in here tonight. Wasn't expecting to be doing this today, but here we are. I know we're supposed to have Connor in here, and he will be in here hopefully for the rest of the season. So glad I could fill in, and I'm really looking forward to this race. And a lot of some familiar faces and a lot of new faces as well. These Gen 4 cars are going to be tough. They're going to be wiggling and wobbling, and it's going to be really hard to push. It's going to be hard. You're going to be able to make your way through the field, but it's going to be very interesting to see how these guys are able to tackle 80 laps, 200 miles here at the World Center of Racing.
So, to bring up, without further ado, we have Chris Rude to talk about the Walkin' and Rollin', I apologize, custom costumes for children, and I have him up here right now. Spotter Chris Rude. Going to be spotting for the 23 team here tonight. Now, Chris, we talked a little bit prior to this broadcast, but can you tell us a little bit about what your foundation does for children and outside of the spectrum of the racing world?
Actually, this is probably their first venture into the racing world, to be honest with you. It's they basically go and they design like cosplay or costumes. Think Halloween costumes or cosplay costumes for kids in wheelchairs and walkers. So we've done stuff like race cars and fighter jets and anything you can imagine has come up. They've done over 100 costumes in the 5 or 6 years they've been around. So it's been really neat, and it's up to your imagination. So there's absolutely could be a tie going in here to racing and what they're doing. We just completed a Camaro for a Bumblebee Camaro, so you never know where it can actually tie into racing. That it's a really neat organization and what they do, designing these costumes for what the kids want, free of charge to them, and they'll ship them anywhere in the U.S. They've shipped to Hawaii even, so it's a really neat organization.
Oh, I've checked out your website, and the descriptions, there's different venues and different times of the year that they'll do different events, but it's completely free of charge to the families that are involved. And I think that's what's the best part. It's completely nonprofit. This all goes out directly to the kids. It's a really awesome thing to get behind. Can you tell us a website, somewhere we can go if we're interested in donating and if we're interested in something to help out our children?
Absolutely. And you are correct. This is 100% free to the families that are receiving these costumes. So it's all donation based. Each costume costs somewhere between $500 and $1,000 to complete, ship, and do all that is usually the budget. And it depends on what the costume is. Some are a little more basic. Some are a little more advanced. As you go to their website, which is walkinrollin.org, and that's WALKINROLLIN.org. So there's no G's on those.
Well, we got it down there on the bottom of the screen right now. If you guys would like to check out and learn more or make a donation to the cause, walkinrollin.org. We appreciate your time, Chris Rude. I think it's a great cause, and it's something that we can all get behind. I look forward to a great season here. VSPEED joining here with SNR, and you're probably the top tier sponsor, in my opinion. That is something I can really get behind, so we appreciate your time.
Yeah, really glad to do it. And there's more than just donations. People can get involved in builds. So people with any skill level can come build. If you're in the Kansas City area, they do a couple workshops a year. If not, we're always looking for builders all over the United States to pair with kids that are close to them. So look to get involved that way as well.
We appreciate that. And yeah, we here at V-Speed, man, we're just all about it. So any kind of charitable outcomes, always good for the kids. And having a 6-year-old of my own, I got that spot where I'm just like seeing the glow in their eyes when they got something cool like that. It's pretty neat.
Absolutely, it is awesome. And my son's in a wheelchair, and that's how I got started with it, and seeing what we've done with some of his stuff, and actually had a couple of his posts go viral. So it's a lot of fun to see the kids light up, and they aren't seen by their disabilities anymore. They're seen as a kid in a really cool costume.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be a little biased here, but really like the Ant-Man. That's a cool touch. It looked really clean.
Yeah, that is Reese in the Ant-Man costume, and he's the one that started the organization with his dad Lon. So he got started with a Dell computer box that they built into a Wally.
Wow.
And Reese got done and said,
awesome.
You know, we need to do this for other kids, because they started getting people to ask them to help do stuff like that. So it literally started with a Dell computer box, and a few years later, it's gone a lot bigger. So it's really neat, and we're always looking to grow.
Well, we're gonna get down here to grid. We appreciate your time, Chris. Good luck spotting for the 23 here tonight. We're gonna have
All
that
right.
team up front, right?
Yep, looks like we're starting on a pole, so it's a good start.
Yeah.
Good luck, guys, and we'll hopefully be chatting with you at the end.
All right, back down to
Thank you,
V-Speed.
buddy.
All right, so here we go. Let's get down to your grid. Down here on the front, we're just talking to the crew chief for this driver right now.
Yeah.
23 car, putting it up on the
Great
pole. And let's go ahead and look at the back of that thing, because why not? Right there, walking, rolling, costumes on the back of that machine. So let's go through your starting grid here tonight for SNR. Ray Massey starting on the pole with a 48.137. Michael Sturgill going to start on his outside of the 90 machine in second. Third position is going to belong to Caleb Weekly with Chad Klinger in fourth position. Row number 3 is going to belong to Jeff Wright with Alex Bell in sixth. Eric Hutton in seventh spot. Joshua Banks, there's some familiar names we're starting to get into. Seventh and eighth position. And to round out your top 10, Mark McFadden and James Loveland in the 10th spot.
And going down to 11th, you got Reggie Ortega, the number 2 Chevrolet. Then to his outside, Seth Hatchell, very familiar name, won on Tuesday in the Below the Double Yellow Line Racing Series. Behind him, Tim Downey in the 25. To his outside, it'll be Eddie Trejo in the 21. Good to see Eddie back in the race car. Then Clifton Cockrell will be rolling off in 15th. 16th will be another familiar name from BTDY. Noah Mikulski, 17th. Behind them will be Casey Shue. At 18th will be Max Cost. 19th, Levi Alsman will be rounding out the field here tonight. 19 cars to take you to the high banks of the World Center of Racing Daytona. I'm excited to get this started, and it was crazy. I know there's only 19 cars. These guys are still going to put on a show. But Jeff said there was 13 guys telling them that they can't make it tonight, but hopefully we'll be able to make it.
Summer weather.
If you added 13 cars to this field, what does that make it? 32? So
yeah.
This league is in good hands for the next few weeks. Looking forward. Next week, I believe, is Auto Club. Might have to be hopping in the race car. Might even be on pit road for that one, so it should be fun. But yeah, what a great race tonight. Ray Massey on the pole, the inaugural night in Daytona. It doesn't get better than this, the World Center of Racing.
It doesn't. Daytona, always a great show. It's the mecca of motorsports. It's the Super Bowl of NASCAR. Not a lot of sports have their biggest event of the year to start off the show. So here we go. The 23, Ray Massey, Michael Sturgill, I apologize, in the 90 car. We've got some new names in here, so I'm going to have to get used to that. But down that long tri-oval here as the pace car is going to pull off. Pace truck going to make the left-hand turn. And then just before that Geico restart zone, we get set to go. Starter cam, green flag in the air. Here we go, live in racing, SNR's first race of the year at Daytona. So then they go down the front straightaway, coming off of turn 4. Side-by-side racing for the 23 machine of Ray Massey. He's trying to keep that inside line going. He's got the 13 of Caleb Weekly on the inside, but it's not going to be enough. And Michael Sturgill is going to lead lap number 1 here at Daytona.
Sturgill able to get the push away from, I believe that's Chad Klinger, the 09 car on the outside. 90 car to the point to the inside, Ray Massey. 13 car of Weekly, second in line. Then you got that 15 car, Alex Bell, known to be a super speedway racer in the leagues that he's been in. Definitely somebody to look out for here as this race goes to the closing stages. 2 double file, about 5-6 rows deep in this 19 car field. I want to point out, most likely 80 laps, 85% fuel tanks. You're most likely going to have to do 2 stops here, so most likely, if you want to split this race into thirds, go 30-30 and to the end.
I would do that in thirds. I think that's the best route, but the main thing is, can you pit with your teammates? Everybody here is going to partner up. They're going to look for a guy that they're comfortable racing with, and these cars are not designed to push with. You see the nose on these machines. It's very angled, very sharp, and it'll lift the back spoiler off these cars very quickly. So pushing is very selective. You have to be very comfortable with who you're racing around. You'll see those guys pit together for sure.
You easily will, for sure. And like you said, you can see Bell getting a nice push from his teammate, Joshua Banks. And I'll tell you this, these cars, obviously you're familiar with the old-time NASCAR. When NASCAR was, well, I guess you could say at its peak, the Generation 4 cars, curved nose, curved bumpers. These cars do not like to line up very well. And when you do push, these cars get a little bit out of shape here. And it's your job, if you're the leading car, to hold on to that push and not lose it, because then the pusher, it's your job to push them at a nice and easy rate. You do not want to shove them too hard, because if you knock the guy sideways, it's going to be really hard for him to save, and that can easily trigger a big wreck.
Yeah, this pack running 19 cars deep as we go down the back straightaway. The 90, Sturgill. Got competition now on the outside as they go into turn 3. The 15 car of Alex Bell starting to make some moves. The 35, Joshua Banks, a guy we're very familiar with. Looks like he's got the Matco Tools machine. I like that paint scheme on the 35.
Always has that Matco Tools sponsor as Bell gets a nice push down the front stretch. Won't be able to lead lap as Sturgill gets another lap led for himself. Well, he's got the Sharon Williams, number 09 Chevrolet Camaro, or was that Chevrolet Impala? I can't really remember what these. Oh, Monte Carlo. My apologies. Got to remember these old time. Or is it? You know what?
It's an Impala. I think we've got
you
different layers here.
You got Alex Bell on a Toyota Camry. A lot of different cars. I don't see any Fusions or Tauruses out here yet. So definitely good to see some brand different manufacturers out here. You can say 5 laps into an 80-lap race, you're going to be nice and easy here. You know, the way you want to set up these super speedway races, especially with a field that's not as big as you might think. And if you're going to split this race into thirds, you want to be with people, like you said, but you also want to set up for that final run. These guys want to get through the first 60 laps of this race. And then from those last 20, that's when the real racing begins. Pretty much, it's just, if you can run around, don't wreck, set yourself up for lap 60 on after you make that second pit stop. Then you can start racing, but you got to make sure, even when you pit, you cannot make mistakes entering pit road, because a speeding penalty could cost you a lap, and will for sure cost you the draft.
It's almost worse than a big wreck. You know, sometimes we don't have cautions. Sometimes guys will get cut out. If you pit wrong at this track, it can put you so far behind. We're talking about 4 or 5 seconds. That turns into a 7-car tandem in front of you. They pull away. By the end of this thing, you're 26 seconds behind. You don't know where your race went. It's very difficult here at Daytona. And not just anybody can win. It does take a lot of discipline to run with the right people, make the right decisions, and be clean the whole time. If this race goes green, you look to see 4 or 5 different tandems of cars break away from each other. Right now, Michael Sturgill leading another lap. And I see Chad Klinger's just clinging to that bumper. You see what I did there?
Hey,
he's
yeah,
just
there
all
you go.
over. He's right on the back. Alex Bell on the outside. The 35 of Joshua Banks just can't get this push. We'll go deeper in the field here. Another guy we're familiar with. We're talking about Eric Hutton here in the 88 machine. He's quiet right now. Inside the top 10, running 9th. Started in 7th. We got a tandem of cars there on the outside trying to push around him to put him out of the top 10.
That's James Loveland and I believe Noah Mikulski in the 03 Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet. And you can see these guys right now riding around. Right now it's just kind of the testing period of this race. Test out what runs can you generate, what moves can you make. These guys aren't going to be right on each other's doors, side drafting each other yet. It's, we're only 8 laps into this race. Eventually, as this race goes on, you're going to see guys get down to each other's doors. They're going to try to pull the air off each other. And another thing is you can see on board with the number 15 SIP or NZXT Toyota Camry, Joshua Banks and Chad Klinger, being those second cars in line, being the pushers, you got to find ways to cool the engine down, because when you're tucked up behind somebody, those temps will skyrocket. You'll have your oil and your water temp not getting any air to cooling off the engine can really affect and could possibly blow the engine if you don't get sufficient cooling to it. As you can see, guys
The
spreading
35,
out.
yeah. The 35 trying to get some air on that nose, and he went way up the track into the marbles there for a second.
Got to be careful getting up there right now. It's early. These guys don't want to have a wreck. It costs a wreck 9 laps to do an 80-lap event here. 200 miles. So coming down here, I think we're going to be 20 miles into this race. So it's still a long way to go, but I'm glad to see double file racing. Sometimes you just see if there was 19 cars, they'd go straight to the wall or straight to the bottom and just kind of ride around. But it's good to see these guys racing up with each other here. And so far, the 19 cars in this field have stayed in this pack. Max Koss being the last one in line right now behind Reggie Ortega. Casey Shue. It's a nice little camera in from the infield here. How about that?
Yeah, we're trying to get a nice drone shot, but I think the guy flying the drone today is not flying high enough, so we'll have to work on that camera angle. And nonetheless, we got a lot of cameras here for you tonight on VSPEED. Lots of different angles as we go into turn 3 entry. These are my personal favorite. I love the static cameras, the sound of these cars going by. 900 horsepower in this Gen 4, and a car way up in the track here.
Who's that? Caleb Weekly. Oh, he gets it again pretty hard there. That's going to be significant damage to the 13. Casey Shue has to go down below the double yellow line to avoid. That won't be a penalty, but decent right side damage to the 13 of Caleb Weekly. It's going to cost him the draft number 1 and might even cost him a tire. He might have a tire down or something. That car severely off the pace. The right side pretty banged up there on that steel body.
Yeah, it's going to cut down, and that's the other thing we don't talk about, these Gen 4 ARCA cars, the ARCA car in general. It has a different damage model than all the other cars on the iRacing service. So when you hit the wall, when you bang up some sheet metal, you're more likely to lose an axle, break the control arm, cut a tire. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with the damage model on this car.
Yeah, these aren't the next gens. They're not tanks where if you hit the wall, you're fine. These cars, if you hit the wall a decent amount like you saw the 13 do, you might get a tire rub. You might even, you're obviously going to get significant aerodynamic damage, especially at a track like Daytona where we know aerodynamics is the name of the game here, especially being in a pack of cars and in the draft. So there, unfortunately, Weekly's going to need a caution so far to even get his damage fixed, and then to see if he can stick in the draft here with these cars. By far, he's lost it, and I believe Casey Shue has also lost the draft as well. But he's got Reggie Ortega picking him up.
Right on board here with Alex Bell. He's running in the 3rd position. He's on the outside line, clean air in front of him. But there's just nowhere to go. I mean, there's no train leaving the station right now for the outside. They haven't pushed up. This could be a product of getting the laps to tick away. We're 13 in now as we cross the line. These guys are being very patient, and outside of the 13 car clinging up to that wall, which is very hard to peel off of, they've been clean and green all the way.
It has been, and yeah, that's the thing you just gotta be able to monitor here. You got such a long way to go. You got about halfway through your tire and fuel run here. There's really, really no point to push it. We've seen Daytona 500s, 15 laps, 20 laps into the race, have a big wreck. And for what reason, I couldn't tell you. But it's just about staying calm. These races are races of attritions. 200 miles is a long way around Daytona. We know the pack. We know how much, pressure is on you when you're in the pack. You don't want to turn the guy in front of you. You don't want to be involved in a wreck. The feeling of the big one happening, for me at least when I'm racing around Daytona, always lives in my head. No driver wants to get caught up in a wreck, especially at Daytona when we know it's prestigious to win at. But we also know it's so early in the race, there's really no point in pushing the issue right now.
Joshua Banks running on the outside, and no push on the issue. You can see these guys being very, very selective with where they touch each other. The 15 getting a big push now down the back straightaway. He might be able to clear and take the lead here.
And good push from his teammate Joshua Banks, and that's going to be something you're going to see guys trying to experiment with this entire race. What is the limit of pushing? We know later in this race, we know the pushes are going to be aggressive. We know the moves are going to be aggressive, and they're going to be way more aggressive as we get into the closing stages of this race. As Banks getting a nice push from Noah Mikulski in the 03. But we know as this race continues on, everything's going to be more aggressive. And then we know we don't know yet. These drivers probably know from practice, what is the limit to pushing somebody on the straightaway. You don't even want to think about touching anybody on the corners. But you got to learn how to push on the straightaway to be able to move that line forward like you saw Banks do to Bell there. And now you can see Banks getting a nice push from Mikulski here. He might be able to clear Bell.
That was a big shove going into 3. It was almost dangerous the way he put that 35 up there, but now as they come off of turn 4, it's side by side. The 35 couldn't lead a lap this time by 03 and Mikulski. Think about where he started this race, back in 16th position up to 3rd already.
Yeah, and like we said, Daytona, you can move up through the field easily. Not easily, it takes a little bit, but you can pick and choose your lanes and move your way through the field. A lot easier to pass than it would be for him to go to 16th to 4th at, let's say, next week's race at Auto Club, where we know tires will wear out on an old racing surface. We saw on Tuesday night in the Xfinity cars, those cars slipping and sliding around. These cars have about 300 more horsepower than that, so if that gives you any idea of how much more slipping and sliding around we might see, it should be a show next week as well.
Bring up the schedule here to talk about Saturday Night Racing League. We're starting here at Daytona. We're going to string this schedule all the way out to October 28th with the Atlanta Legacy Track. Thank goodness it's the Legacy Track. The real Atlanta 6-race chase will begin September 23rd. And next week, Auto Club. So we get to visit that again, Alec. I know you're going to love that place.
Look at the next 2 races. Auto Club and Las Vegas, 2 home races of mine. Trouble the 16, taps the wall, saves it, everybody goes and avoids. And
is that 48 of Jeff Wright down there on the apron?
Yeah, I think Levi Alsman just tapped the wall. Got it decent on the right side quarter panel. I think should be fine. Looks like no harm, no foul. But yeah, that's a little scare moment there for the pack. There is these tires will wear. These cars will start to wiggle and wobble around this racetrack as it's in the day. It's the sun's beating on this racetrack. I don't know if we have the track temp here, but if we look at the track temp is at currently 88 degrees. It's not super hot. That's not super cold, but right now the sun beating on this track, these tires starting to wear, these cars, not much side force on them. You can tell there's a little bit of skew, but not a lot of downforce on these cars either. So you'll see these cars slide around a little bit more as the tires start to wear.
Well, I was looking for a Pontiac, and I found one. There it is right there, the 40 machine. That would be Clifton Crockle, and he is driving the Kindle. Man, that isn't a flashback. That's before this car was even thought of.
I was, yeah, that was, I have to come back to that one. I think I have a feeling who that is, but I'm not really sure. Who if you can go back, who drove that wonderful machine?
That's
40.
We're talking about the late 80s, I believe.
We're talking, was that Bobby Hamilton?
Might have been.
I don't know. For anybody who might be a NASCAR
chat, help us out.
Yeah, if you can help us out on that car. I want to say it was Bobby Hamilton in the 90s, but I'm not really sure. But a great throwback there for Clifton Cockrell. He's got good taste in paint schemes. I'll give you that. I'll give him that. That's really nice. So I'll tell you what, Joshua Banks able to get the lead, but Bell charging on the bottom. How about the 25 car? Tim Downey. He's getting up there in the late July. What is that? Is that like a? He's always races those cars. I've raced with Tim for a long time. He always has really bright, colorful paint schemes, and man, do they work! As I can see there, the late July.
Yeah, you got the suit. Fitted. Yeah, that's perfect. Well put together. Looks good out there. It's kind of a Cheez-It theme. I'm sorry if that breaks any copyright rules, but
all right.
Down the back straightaway here, side by side. Banks had a couple opportunities there to clear the leader and never came down. He's sticking with his guy, Noah Mikulski, on the outside.
I think this is good for them being teammates. You got Bell on the inside of the 15 NZXT Toyota Camry, and then you got Joshua Banks in the Mack Tool Chevrolet on the outside. I see guys peeling off the pit road.
Yeah, we got the 48 of Jeff Wright coming down. They're locking it up hard here in the 21. Man.
I don't know if Eddie's going to be able to make that one. Eddie Trejo hot onto the brakes there. Looked like he made it right. Hot on the brakes. You got Wright, Ortega, Shu,
I think we go back and take a look at that.
Oh, I think Eddie missed his pit box too. So to add insult to injury there, he missed his pit box.
Well, these guys came in hot.
I think Wright was fine. Trejo was hot on the brakes. I think he was able to get it slowed down, but unfortunately for Trejo, he couldn't get into his pit box. I don't think he could find the sign, and he had to roll through pit road.
So it looks like the 48 of Jeff Wright comes back out. He was probably the furthest ahead of all of these guys, and I think the 21 might have gotten a speeding penalty.
Yeah, we'll see here. This pack that just came in really broken up, unfortunately. And from what I'm seeing, are they going to do a 3-stopper strategy maybe as well? As you can see, this field is broken up. But as you got the front pack here with Bell leading it, look who's going to...
Oh, the 15!
Bell on the apron! Saves it. What a save for Bell. But now Sturgill goes down to the inside. Bell into the sucker hole in the middle. And then you got the guys joining back at the pack with Ortega, Shu, and I believe Eric Hutton. What's this going to do? This might be a 4-wide situation here. They'll situate it to 2-wide, but now it's going to stack up as these cars are going to be squeezed into the middle.
This is the 3-wide move, and the 15 of Bell falls back through. These guys, if they were wanting to pit, they met him at the way wrong time. Let's take a look back at what happened to Bell there as he hit the apron. That was a close one there for Bell.
That would have been a shame if he had spun in front of the entire field here. Get a replay going here as everybody goes by the 48 of Jeff Wright falls a lap down now to the lead pack. You can see here he's all by himself. He's got to push. That car just wiggles there and it clips that tape. And he gets there, and you can see Sturgill has nothing to do but just go underneath him. And that middle, we don't talk about it enough with these race cars, the sucker hole, that there's nobody pushing, there's no air, and all the air is coming off your cars. You pretty much just fall to the back. You lose all your speed because you got no draft. And you can see he's able to find the in line there and then get around the lappers. So if we go live here, everybody seemed to migrate down to the bottom. Banks and Bell trying to make their way up to the outside of Klinger and Sturgill. But now only 13 cars on the lead lap. Max Koss, the last car on the lead lap. Jeff Wright, Reggie Ortega, Casey Shu, Eric Hutton, obviously Caleb Weekly, and now Eddie Trejo as well, all trapped a lap down here. That's unfortunately going to hurt them a lot because if you look at right now, if a caution comes out, only one of them is going to get the lucky dog. And all these guys' teammates, if caution comes out, they'll probably be in it most likely because they're in the middle of the pack. But if they don't get in it, only one of them is going to be able to get to the lucky dog, and it'll trap most of them a lap down.
Yeah, these guys from 14th position back all being a lap down, that is not a position I would want to be in here at Daytona right now, especially with the pack still being as tight as it is. So you have that situation of being a lap down, but you're also right in the mix of if something does happen, you're going to get involved with it.
You are, and yeah, that's the risk, the high risk, high reward take of Daytona. You fall a lap down, you get racing up in the middle of the pack to try to salvage your lap, but if a wreck happens in front of you, there's nowhere to go. As I believe Max Koss has now lost the draft in the Reese's Chevrolet. Or is he in a? No, he is in a Chevy there.
He's got some right rear damage there on the.
Does.
Maybe got moved out of line. Let's see if we can find what happened to him.
See, off of turn 4, the last lap. Oh yeah, he just tracked up there. He's trying to pit, and I think Caleb Weekly got into him. And that's where that left rear damage came from. You'll see here, either he got loose, came out of the throttle, and then you can see I don't know if he's trying to pit, he got loose, and yeah, right in front of Caleb Weekly that's where that damage comes from there. Unfortunately, that's going to cost him the draft as well, so a lot of tough sledding for a lot of guys here, but he is now falling 5-6 seconds behind the pack as the battle for the lead is heated up. The outside lane starting to get some momentum with Joshua Banks and Alex Bell.
Yep, side by side again, and we've seen this continuously between Sturgill, Banks, Bell, Klinger. Bell's lucky to be there still with the way he hit that apron.
It's a heck of a save, and you can see these guys right now still early in this race, 25, 26, now 27 laps into this race, as we can see. You're going to see Bell. I don't know if Bell's been easy on the bumper of his teammate Joshua Banks, but last lap, I saw Joshua Banks. So you can see it right here in the middle of the corner. Banks pulls right down to the door as we're on board with the 15. You'll see him pull right down to the door. He'll go up the straightaway to get away from the 90 to stop that side draft. You can see him side drafting him down into the corner, lets the car track up as he takes the air away from the 90, and now gets a shove down the backstretch here from his teammate Alex Bell. But just classic super speedway racing, pull on the guy's door, pull down on the guy's door, pull him back, and then go up on the shoulder, get away from that door as you slow him down. But right now, as Sturgill has his teammate right behind, you can see works perfectly there as he'll get a nice shove from his teammate Alex Bell, and he'll lead the lap because of that.
These guys have been side by side almost continuously for 28 laps out of 80. And if I had to guess, this is probably the perfect time to bring some noise here. Brought to you by Harpoon Design. We're gonna crank it up a little bit here and bring the noise. Oh boy.
Trouble.
What?
Was that Sturgill? Sturgill got very loose on the entry of pit road. Him and his teammate Chad Klinger bringing it in as our Breathe the Noise section comes to an end. As green flag pit stops on the way here as Sturgill makes it into his box. And now, what will this do with Jeff Wright, Reggie Ortega, Eric Hutton, and Casey Shue? Those guys had brought it in about 10 laps earlier, have been running in the main pack as these two teammates so far getting 4 tires, filling it up with Sunoco Racing fuel, as it looks, did both of them get speeding penalties?
I believe so. The 09 looks like they're both on a hold, so that's going to put
got speed penalties.
Going to put Klinger and Sturgill down big time.
There goes Banks, Downey, and Bell. Oh my goodness! Oh, trouble! James Loveland's in the grass. Loveland spinning in the 56 around. He's still in the grass, and the VSPEED Chevrolet is around. He'll get back onto pit lane and back into pit road speed. Unfortunately, that's going to cost him the draft as well. We talked about it early in this race. Costly mistakes. His Osman has also missed his pit box. We talked about these mistakes. You cannot afford to do this, especially with the race, especially how green this race has been. As we'll take a replay here, see what happened. Looks like he had a few guys pitting ahead of him. I believe it was his teammate Seth Hatchell. You had Tim Downey. Then he had Ray Massey had brought it in as well. Banks, and you can see he just locks up the brakes, goes right around. Oh, Osman into the back of Mikulski as well. Seems like everybody else gets by cleanly, but unfortunately going to cost James Loveland a lot of positions as Clifton Cockrell has brought it back down to pit lane. As to the lead pack is now significantly spread out. As you can see, Ortega, Hutton, Wright, Trejo, and Shue are going to be able to go around these guys. Will these guys be able to stick in their draft is the question.
Clifton Cockrell on pit road right now, leaving that box. Joshua Banks back out on the track. He's in the second position, coming out of turn 4 now. I believe he's going to catch up to that 40 machine
He'll
of
easily
Clifton.
get to him as they're about full bore here. It's going to take another lap. As Cockrell's exiting pit road, he should be able to slot in behind Mikulski and Massey here as they come off through turn number 2. As here comes Banks around into turn 1. Cockrell will be able to get up to 4th gear. It's just they got too much momentum rolling. I don't think he'll be able to stick with them here as he's still got the lead, but this pack behind 3 seconds and coming even quicker is Loveland back into pit road. I believe he had to serve a penalty there as well, so he's gotten trapped a lap down, but that's also put Ortega, Wright, Hutton, Shu, and I believe Trejo, who is a lap down, in a weird position here. Will be probably about a 10-car pack as Cockrell gets passed by the lead pack and unfortunately won't be able to stick with them, and I think he's got to latch on to Ortega and Wright here.
He's going to have to find somebody because everybody's passing him like a freight train. He got up to 4th gear, but not up to speed. He's probably going to catch the tail end of this pack right here. You've got the 21 machine. I believe it's the 21 of...
It is, of Eddie Trejo.
Okay, so they actually kind of stalled out there. You had the 07 to Casey Shu, and he's kind of stalled out. Nathan, I believe the 21 would be scored a lap down right now. He is the first car a lap down in 16th position. But yeah, these guys stalled out big time, and we were right on board with Casey Shu. They need to get back in the draft here. Let the drop behind that 40 car.
Right now he's got the draft as Ortega, man. What a shove. They had such a huge run. He was able to get to the lead there. I think he led that lap with the help from Jeff Wright. Now Shu and Cockrell able to fold or get back in line here. This makes it about 11-car pack. So far right now, I think everybody's going to be content with running around. As I say that, I think 2 wide gives me that they're not going to be content going for every single position. But we talked about, like I said, pit road mistakes going to be costly for guys like Tim Downey, James Loveland, who was in that pack. Obviously, Eddie Trejo being trapped a lap down. Klinger and Sturgill, that's a big one. They were able to kind of work together for most of this race. Now both of them trapped a lap down.
As they exit turn 4, coming across here for the start-finish line. It's going to be side by side right at the line, and the 2, Reggie Ortega is going to lead that time by. Got 2 teammates up there with Jeff Wright pushing him on the outside. The debut here, SNR, Saturday Night Racing League, putting on a great show, clean and green, 36 laps out of 80. We're going to take a quick commercial break and hear from our sponsors. And we'll be right back here live on VSPEED right after this.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Back here live. Joshua Banks takes over the lead. And it looks like they've single filed out. We were just talking in the commercial break, Alec, that they were running double file with 19 cars. You were excited, you were happy to see that. And then they all just fanned in single file. It's like they heard they were listening in.
I think right now, like I said, you got 12 cars in the package. They just got by Caleb Weekly to put them, unfortunately, a second lap down here tonight. But I think the thing is, we just got to halfway. There's still another pit stop to go. I think right now, like I said, it's just perfect time. If you want to ride around right now, most of this race is setting up for that 30 laps to go when you start making your moves. Right now, you're going to there's nothing to do. You can't win the race on lap 40, but you most certainly can lose it if you cause an incident or get involved in an incident. So right now, safest way to not get an incident, just stay in line. Don't do anything. So that's pretty much the way you got to kind of take these, especially with 19-car field. You got 3-4 of them a lap down. So it's right now right around.
Stimming back to elementary school, you need to wait your turn for the snack bar. Stay in line. Because good things come to those who wait. We've got the 40 back here, though. Looks like the 40 and the 03 of Ortega. Cockrell and Ortega starting to push that outside line. Jeff Wright pops up there as well. Didn't ride around single file for very long.
No. I think guys are like, you know what? Let's go make some moves. Why not? So you can see you got the 03 of Mikulski going to get up to the back bumper of the 48 of Jeff Wright. Then you got Clifton Cockrell right behind them in the 40 car. Not making as much headway right now, especially with about a 5-3, or actually 6-3, being the numbers there of the inside and outside lane cars, as Weekly was able to kind of string on a little bit to the draft. He's slowly but surely losing that draft once again with the damage he's got on that vehicle. So unfortunately, he's going to be losing that, but that top lane starting to surge ahead with Jeff Wright and Mikulski, although if they can get one more car, they'll really start making some headway. But no matter what, 3 cars right now, it's going.
Yeah, we had a peeker there with the 21 machine. He's being scored a lap down, but he can still help. He would contribute. And I've actually got the camera on the 88 of Eric Hutton. He's just had a quiet night. This is Mr. Survivor.
He's
done really well.
Consistency.
Yeah, Mr. Consistency. But what I mean by Mr. Survivor is at these plate tracks, he puts his car in a spot where he's quiet. He doesn't get into anybody. He doesn't want anyone getting into him. He's just going to ride around here until about 10 to go and then put on the heat.
That's what it's all about. Is Mikulski to the middle, right? Goes up the racetrack. That allows Cockrell to get through the middle, and here comes another car to help Jeff Wright. That's his teammate, Reggie Ortega. I believe, remember their strategy. They are on an alternate strategy. They might be bringing it in here within the next few laps. Eric Hutton might be leading the charge down into pit road this next time.
Yeah, this is about the time they pitted last time through. Yeah. It was a 22, 23 laps. They might be setting up here for another pit road, but this time by, still going around. Joshua Banks, your leader. Alex Bell has not really had, I guess, a push or a shove. It's just been single file. It hasn't had a lot of competition here on the outside. You see the 03 really side drafting there on the 84 is Seth Hatchell, though. You really want to get that outside moving.
Unfortunately, that's going to work to no avail. There's just not enough cars on the outside to make it work right now. As you can see, 2 of them might be able to, but it's once we get on the straightaways, it's just not going to go, unfortunately. So far, having a solid run. He's side drafting this 23 of Massey. He just can't get around him right now, and he just doesn't have the 40 to his back bumper to even generate a tandem-like run. So it's unfortunately going to might be able to fall back, but he's doing a heck of a job being able to side draft the 23 and stall those out from Seth Hatch on the 84.
Great shot. The drone guy finally doing his job as we go into turn 1. Just got to find where that drone's flying around. Look at the 35. Bobbles there on the apron. Just for a split second, that almost allowed Alex Bell to get to the bad spot where you don't want to push. All that momentum breaks. And now look at the outside surgeon with 2 cars again.
Yeah, Mikulski's pretty much doing this all by himself. He doesn't have Cockrell to his back bumper yet. Give him credit, though. He's doing a heck of a job side routing. But once you get to these guys tandemed up here, I don't know if he'll be able to get him. He just needs, if he got 1 car to his back bumper, he would be able to generate enough of a run. But right now, just doesn't have anything right now just to get up there. So far, Mikulski's doing just an amazing job. He's up to 3rd, trying to get 2nd if he could pull back Bell. He's also got to be careful he doesn't get himself turned with how much he's side drafting.
Yeah, one mistake happens there with
right
Seth
there,
Hatchell, and right there the touch, they get contact off of turn 2. But now he has helpers. He's got the 40.
Yeah, 40 and the 48.
The Cockrell's going to come up there. Jeff Wright's going to come up. Maybe they get the 03, what he wanted. But now he might have a tire rub with that contact. He lost a lot of momentum.
He should be fine. That was not, and these tire rubs that you get, I don't think they'll pop the tire at the moment. So this is looking interesting here. It's going to be wild to see here. As you can see now, the 03's got some help. He's got the 40, not to his back bumper, but enough to at least give him a little bit of an arrow push up past the 15 and the 84. Right now, he's just kind of stuck side by side with Seth Hatchell. Hatchell kind of riding around right now. He's able to side draft nicely off of 2. He just can't get that run down the backstretch because of the help he doesn't have.
Yeah, he's been running neck and neck with Seth Hatchell, and the 40 of Cockrell hasn't really gotten up to his bumper. I think some of these guys are kind of admiring it all that the 03 and the 84 haven't wrecked each other at this point. Look how close they're getting into 3 and 4.
Definitely getting a little dicey here in the middle of these corners here, as you can see. Still pulling even here. They don't want to have a wreck here. A wreck would be probably one of the worst things to happen here. With
Oh my goodness, though.
But man, that 03 is able to pull back so much.
He's doing well.
He impresses us just in general, and we look in BTDY on Tuesday nights in the Kidney cars. He runs with some of the guys the likes of Yusuf Ghali, Bailey Turner, Eric Hutton, AJ Stravato, and he even runs with Jeff Wright, who's a championship leader in that series as well. Matter of fact, I think he almost beat him at Auto Club. So we talk about him getting a 6th at Texas, was racing David Schildhouse, who's one of the better drivers, all BTDY, very competitive as well. But and it's good to see a lot of those drivers coming in here and making this league. So far, man, I tell you what, Mikulski, no matter what car it seems he's getting in, he gets better. There's a little smoke on the hand. I'm not sure who that is. It's that Mark McFadden, I believe. Brought it down to pit lane. Sturgill, and is that Cost is also in a... another car
71 of McFadden. I don't know if I see another car. Let's see if we get a better camera angle here with a spectator camera. No other cars, no other takers on pit road. Joshua Banks back around all the way to the back stretch. And that was Mark McFadden going a lap down. He might go another lap down. I don't know. This pack running pretty fast. We'll get back on the 71. He's back out on the track. So I think he's good to go.
I think the problem I'm looking at here is I'm seeing the cars that this pack is coming up and running up onto is you got Chad Klinger, you got Levi Osman, you got James Loveland, and Tim Downey. They're probably not in jeopardy of getting lapped. But you look at guys like Max
the 48
Costa.
right.
48. Oh, boy, I didn't think I thought they were going to pit. See if he gets held much longer. I don't think he will. As Seth Hatchell has brought it in.
I don't know on that one.
Lap run. 30, actually. So these guys getting fuel here. Let's see what happens to Jeff Wright. Right sides will go up. Eric Hutton, Ortega, Seth Hatchell. I believe Eddie Trejo as well. I think Seth Hatchell only fuel. He's going to go out and away. That was a 9.1 second pit stop to get that car full of Sunoco Racing fuel. Jeff Wright, not a penalty. That rolls out with... he's got Trejo, he's got Hutton, Shu, and Ortega, but a very spread out pack. Unfortunately for them, is the top 10 pitting right now. I believe you got the whole entire top 5. Banks, Bell, then you got Massey, the 03 of Mikulski, and the 40 of Cockrell. All in. I think they'll be able to bring it in and be able to make it to the end on fields. Mikulski, a sharp left turn as well as Cockrell. He'll be able to make it. Can't miss your box here.
Yeah, I wanted to go back and take a look at that. We still have it on tap here. But Jeff Wright, wow. Just crazy close there coming into pit road. So we'll go back and take a look at that in just a second. But Joshua Banks clean. He's got Bell. He's got the 40 of Cockrell. They all came on pit road pretty cleanly. Let's go back and look at what happened to Jeff Wright.
I mean, look at that hard on the binders. A big brakes and somehow able to not speed into pit road.
I don't know how he didn't go
pretty
into the
amazing.
grass.
Yeah, as I can see now, this field rejoining back onto the racetrack. Seth Hatchell was able to jump these guys very far. Gets by McCoskey, gets by Massey. The question is, can these guys stick with Jeff Wright and Reggie Ortega, Eric Hutton, as they're coming off of turn 2? They'll be able to. In this field looks like a 1.5 mile race with how spread out they are. Finally, I believe Seth Hatchell's able to jump Bell and jump Banks, so he'll go to the lead once this thing cycles out. You got Klinger and Sturgill. Cockrell getting out of the trying to get back on the lead lap, or trying to get in line here behind Alsman and Cost. So far, this field very spread out. And then Massey and McCoskey are quite a ways behind, about 3 seconds behind Cockrell.
Yep, and I thought
Again,
I
those
figured
guys
it
will have
out,
to
but
pit.
yep. I don't know.
Tim Downey's in the lead right now. Seth Hatchell is battling side by side here. You got Sturgill and Klinger trying to get their laps back. Banks is going to send it up the middle here. Sturgill's going to get to the back of Hatchell. Jacks the back end up. Almost spins the 84. Banks fights down to the inside. Help from his teammate Bell. Now, like I talked about, this entire race, 60 or 80 laps to complete here. You got 53 completed. Now it's the push to the final end of this race, the final run. They're good on fuel. Now it's the push to see who can win this race. Things are going to start heating up.
And Downey still out on the track. 22 laps on this stint. He probably stretched his fuel run further than anybody else in that first stint. Now he's about 4 laps shy of probably pitting when everybody else did. But Seth Hatchell, what a pit stop for the 84 with a fuel-only stop. We'll see if that pays off. I know this thing's already been pretty squirrely.
And will that affect his handling in that race car as well? As you can see, Banks shuffles him up down to the inside. Hatchell now going to go all the way to the back of this pack unless he can find a line. That now moves Klinger and Sturgill up, getting there at least to their lap back. Now those two cars back on the lead lap, or back down to 1 lap down. So those guys currently 2 laps down once they pit, as they'll come by Caleb Weekly to lap him a 3rd time. It looks like Levi Alsman is still currently on the lead lap, along with who I believe is going to be the second car lap down now, which is Mark McFadden, who's tucked in line as well.
Yeah, we've got the 09 of Sturgill, or Klinger, and the 90 of Sturgill that were leading this race at one point on that inside line. They were doing excellent, but they both get a speeding penalty simultaneously and find themselves on threat to go another lap down. They're actually trying to get that lap back at the 25 of Downey hits pit road. They would be back on the lead lap. They're in front of the 35 of Joshua Banks currently.
And they're hoping for a caution right now. They may get it with the way these guys are kind of shuffling through the pack. Unfortunately, we come right behind this lead pack, which is led by currently Michael Sturgill. 2.5 seconds, actually 2 seconds back is Eric Hutton. Actually, no, sorry, 4.5 seconds back is Eric Hutton, Jeff Wright, Eddie Trejo, Reggie Ortega, I believe. Oh, trouble. Levi Alsman is spun on the entry of pit road. He's gotten back going. But right now, Casey Shue and Reggie Ortega lost the draft of that second pack. Unfortunately, that's going to cost them a chance maybe at a win at the way this race keeps staying.
I can tell you this, Eric Hutton, 4.2 seconds back from Clifton Cockrell in the 5th position, who's hanging on the tail end of this tandem of cars mixed with some lap traffic. This caution does come out. That would bail the 90 and the 09 of Sturgill and Klinger. But when you dig a hole like this and this race goes green, it's almost, you got to sign off. You're just trying to make the best of the situation.
It's about getting points now. At this case is now Tim Downey exiting pit road. Or sorry, that's Max
63.
Cost,
yeah, he was praying for a caution as well.
And Alsman leaving pit road. So unfortunately, they're going to go get passed by this pack. Won't be able to tuck in line here. You can see Caleb Weekly as well trying to tuck in line.
How far is Tim Downey going to go? I'm watching this lap counter. Can he go?
5 laps. I think he's hoping for a caution because he'd obviously cycle to the lead, or he'd be able to come back into pit road and obviously get caught up. So,
yeah, I mean, if we're stretching it out this far, I know that the 56 that's behind him pushing right now, that's the 56 machine of James Loveland, has some nose damage, but if you're the 25 of Downey, would you want to drop behind him and try to save as much fuel in case there is a caution?
I don't know. You might, but I think right now Downey's got to pit no matter what. He cannot make it on fuel. So right now I think it's all going to be all about just getting getting your pit stop done and then probably hoping for a caution. Unfortunately, with how spread out this field is, and Eric Hutton kind of stabilizing at about 4 seconds behind Clifton Cockrell, I just don't think they're going to be able to run him down unless they really start picking up the pace or these leaders start racing each other, because right now they just don't seem to have it. I will say this lead pack will get smaller because Sturgill and Klinger will have to pit.
Yeah, they're trying to stay on that lead lap, and it's just not going to work out for them. They're on the same stint as the 25 of Downey, working through lap 59 now. Riding on board here with Eric Hutton in the 88 machine. This is a really tough 6th position because you feel like the leader. There's no one in front of you. That lead pack up there 4 seconds ahead. You're not catching draft from them, and it's very frustrating.
It is,
4.5
yeah.
as they go into turn 3.
Yeah, I know that time is starting to dwindle. You're starting to go up, unfortunately. But right now, they might be saved once Sturgill and Klinger pit, as well as maybe even, I think Mark McFadden won't be able to make it on fuel either, or his will be more close. But once that pack shrinks down to about 5 cars, and if they're not organized, they'll lose a lot of time. If Hutton could close it down to about a second and a half, and get a sniff with a draft, then he'll be able to probably reel him in, especially with how much pushing Jeff Wright's giving him right now. They're able to gain time. It's just they're not gaining enough at the moment.
Yeah, and another perspective to think about, you have the 09 and the 90 who were in the lead pack. You have the 35 and the 15 who were the other line of the lead pack. So you have all 4 of these guys working together in tandem. The 4 fastest cars since the start of this race. They haven't really left the top 5. Well, outside of the penalties, but these cars deserve to be up here where they are.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see if Klinger and Sturgill were in this thing and on the lead lap. I think they definitely play a good role here, especially with the 35 and the 15 working together as teammates. So we'll see what happens here. Again, they have 29 laps on their fuel since their last pit stop. So I'm assuming that they're going to have to pit within the next lap or 2, as Tim Downey, I don't think has been able to, I don't know if Downey's coming in. I think he is, as the crew's up on the wall. So that'll leave the 25. He'll surrender the lead to the 35 of Joshua Banks, and then that probably will mean Sturgill and Klinger will come in next lap most likely.
So the 25 of Downey's going to surrender the lead here. We've got the 35 going to take it away, Joshua Banks. He's just content to ride around. He's got the 15 of Alex Bell in the debut race here at Saturday Night Racing League. VSPEED's brought you flag-to-flag coverage. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like, share, and follow this broadcast so you never miss a single race live on VSPEED. And for our first broadcast on a Saturday night in quite some time, I do believe, we're enjoying every second of it. These guys have been green all the way through, Alec. It's a great show.
It is. You know, I noticed the racing series that we can tend to broadcast, they just go green.
Just go
I'm
green.
not complaining. I don't mind a nice, clean and green race. As Seth Hatchell's starting to make some headway up on the outside with help with Clifton Cockrell. This is going to be for the lead once he races side by side with Joshua Banks. He's pulled next to Alex Bell in the 15. But these leaders, or these top 2 that are leading this pack, will probably have to bring it into pit road within this next lap or 2.
Yeah, the 09, the 90, they're definitely going to have to bring it down. The 84
see,
on the outside, Seth Hatchell,
so.
these guys are trying. They know that they're going to pit, so they're trying to shuffle around.
Yes, they are. So what will that do to this lead pack? What will this do for the second pack? As this pack will lose 2 cars worth of energy here. As there goes Sturgill and Klinger stay out again. I'm surprised that their fuel tanks are able to last this long. As now Banks will go to the point. He'll put Sturgill and Klinger another lap down. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to play an interesting factor in this race. Sturgill currently first car lap down. So we'll see what happens here as Banks trying to go to the outside. This is going to be perfect for that second pack as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know if I like this drone cam in these turns. It seems to be out of position most of the time, but when it does work, it works great. Here we go. We'll try it one more time. Nope, not going to work. We're going to scrap that idea altogether. They're a really cool shot when you come down the backstretch and get that nice exit.
It is.
You see the speed of the 35, Joshua Banks on the outside with Bell. They still haven't been able to completely put a pin in this lap down.
No, they haven't. And here comes Tim Downey, who will unfortunately lose a lap. Was in the lead. Now going to lose a lap. Oh man,
Oh,
a
boy.
nice swing down there. Almost little contact there. Will he be able to latch onto this pack? Is the question. Is I gotta think Sturgill and Klinger cars are running on fumes here. Be amazed if they're going to be able to stick it out much longer here, as they're still on the bottom lane, holding up these leaders. Unfortunately, that second pack is falling 5 seconds behind.
5 seconds back to Eric
That second
Hutton.
pack is hoping that the 90 and 09 pit is, they look like they're going to go by pit road once again. 34 laps on this tank of fuel. How much longer can they go? We saw everybody go less than 30. So my question is, what will they be able, how long can they actually go? They keep gaining cars, dude. They keep gaining cars. Keep gaining. Oh, Loveland in the wall.
That was the 56 who was paired up with the 25 just a minute ago.
Everything
He's trying to
seems
get up
be good.
out of the way. We're going to go back and take a look at that really quickly. I have him right in front of your leaders.
That was almost some trouble there.
Yeah, right in front of the 35 of Joshua Banks. We'll go back and look at that one more time. He's riding the wall. He's got a whole tandem of freight train of cars coming by.
Oh, there goes Klinger. Klinger and Sturgill have brought it to pit lane. How much will this affect the energy of this first pack? Is the second pack, they've been up for a while. They've been pretty much
Man, that's
stacked up for a while.
Not a lot of time to do it here. We go back here to Eric Hutton. 4.6 seconds. They are starting to cut it away a little bit, but they only have about 14 laps to do it. 13 and a half now as they get out of the backstretch.
To a second and a half. If he can cut it down to a second and a half, he will be fine. Unfortunately, did they lose somebody in that draft? No, they barely, almost looked like they were going to lose somebody. Unfortunately, there's about 3 separate packs here in this field. You got the lead pack, you got the second pack, and then a third pack with Casey Shue, Reggie Ortega leading the charge in that one. So
Ortega, how did he get mixed up in this? He must have had a bad pit stop.
He tried to go back and help Casey Shue, whose teammate who was losing the draft. Unfortunately, they both lost the draft together, and unfortunately have fallen back considerably. As I'll tell you what, this lead pack, the second pack of Eric Hutton leading the charge, is really starting to move. The last time, 0.3 of a second faster.
Yeah, 3.5 seconds separating the 5th position to 4th
The lead
position.
pack starting to realize as well that they need to get single file here. 2 seconds have been shaved off already, but this lead pack is still racing each other.
Yeah, lead pack trying to shuffle around, figure out who's going to lead this race in the closing laps. 35, Joshua Banks, Alex Bell. He's stuck to the bumper the whole time. You got the 25 tossing it up now on the outside. The 84 of Seth Hatchell. He could use this as a pick here. He could push that 25 up there. These guys side by side, it's not going to work out well. You see that lead starting to dwindle down. It's down to 3.2 seconds. Eric Hutton is on his way.
Yes, he is. 3.2 now, but these guys racing is Hatchell trying to go for the lead here on Joshua Banks. Downey, remember, a lap car in the 25, Lake July Chevrolet. That is not a car for position between the top 4. Cockrell, Hatchell goes back in line. That white 84,
Ooh.
He's on the lead lap. Cockrell in 4th, the last car on the lead lap in this little 5-6 car pack.
Well, we watched the 40 of Cockrell and the 03 of Mikowski stay on that outside for quite a long time and never really lose ground. I don't think it's going to work out as much here, though. Cockrell's going to have to drop down inside behind the 71. That is a lap down car of Mark McFadden. He could use that as a pick as well. We got a couple lappers up here in this top pack that they could use as picks to get to the front if they really wanted to. I think they're going to plan this accordingly with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, they are, and as we got 10 laps to go off of turn 4, they'll be able to see 10 laps to go in this race in what has been quite an interesting race here for the Saturday Night Racing League. 200 miles here from Daytona. Well, now there's 20 miles to go here at the World Center of Racing here. Let's see what happens here as the lead in the second pack is now up to 3.3 seconds behind Clifton Cockrell. From what I'm seeing, most likely it's going to be a four-horse pony show at the dog races.
Anything can happen. One of these guys up here could make a mistake, and Joshua Banks, you know he's Going to the inside of the 25 now. We watched the 15 of Alex Bell clip that apron. All it could take is for the 35 to do the same and break the momentum of this front pack. And then we could be talking about 2 seconds separating, 1 second separating. It really all comes down to if Eric Hutton and that group, that second tandem with Jeff Wright, can get up here and grab a hold of the draft, the tail end of that pack.
Yes, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what can happen here. Who is going to be able to get the win here out of these 4 cars? You got Joshua Banks, Alex Bell, Seth Hatchell. As you can see on board with Eric Hunt and his teammate Jeff Wright shoving the 88 car. It's just been to no avail. They just have yet to catch up. They've been steady pace at about 3 seconds. And it's kind of flatline. They haven't been able to gain much time. They're about a 10th faster than the last lap. We'll see what they are this time around. It looks like it's going to be slower.
45.67. Well, 45.422. So they did shave off a couple tenths, but you can see Jeff Wright having to breathe that machine. They're running out of time, and they know it.
They just don't have enough right now. There's just not enough. They need these guys to start racing. And I think these guys up here are starting to realize there's no point in really racing until maybe 2 or 3 to go.
I can tell you this, I don't want to be Joshua Banks right now. It's never worked out well, no matter what generation of car. Yeah, but no matter what generation of car we've raced here on iRacing, NASCAR, real life, it doesn't matter. You are the sit duck.
Is on a big lap here. Let's see how fast. We'll see what the leader shows. Banks, a 45.787. Eric Hutton, a 45.154. A half a second shaved off that last lap.
We'll do it.
5 laps to go.
This is the time.
And they cut it down to 2 seconds here. Really, we're pushing there. Let's see what can happen down this back stretch. These guys working together, pushing hard. He's now 1.9 seconds behind this pack. If he gets a sniff of that draft, he will be able to generate enough of a run to get these guys up here within the last 5 laps and battle for a win.
Well, that front pack, they have the lap cars that are at the tail end of that, so that is an advantage, but you can see them side by side as they come across the start-finish line.
They're there. They have got the draft. And you can see McFadden and Downey are battling for the lucky dog. They're trying to be the first car lap down. This second pack is there now.
Battle for the lucky dog. Battle for the lead. Coming up on 5 laps to go, Joshua Banks. He has Alex Bell behind him, who's been very faithful to that rear bumper, keeping him up front. Seth Hatchell could make a move.
more faithfulness here. Here comes Cockrell to the outside. He's realizing that Eric Hutton is getting a huge run. Here comes Hutton to the outside. Oh, there goes the move to the outside. Bell, contact. Bell goes around. Bell saves it through the infield, through the Daytona side. He goes. Will he save it? Yes, he will. He will, but now he'll lose the pack as Hutton to the lead.
What a save. What a save by the 15, but now a change for the lead with 5 to go. The 88 of Eric Hutton. Out of nowhere, we were counting them out, said that pack couldn't catch him, and here they are taking the lead with 5 laps down the backstretch.
Yeah, Bell got clipped there by Seth Hatchell there, and unfortunately Bell goes through the infield. No caution was able to come out there, but this battle for the lead heating up. Joshua Banks lost his drafting partner. Now it's the teammates, Eric Hutton and Jeff Wright. Hatchell looks down to the middle. They won't be able to get there now. Hutton gonna lead another lap, but Cockrell back to the back bumper of the 35 of Banks. 5 laps to go for the World Center Racing, not 4 to go.
4 to go, and Eric Hutton, he's on the point. He's got Jeff Wright, Joshua Banks. They lost their steam. He's got Cockrell behind him. They need a push down to the inside to maintain this lead. The 84 of Seth Hatchell holding on for dear life as he's trying to figure out where he wants to make his move. The 48 of Jeff Wright peeks to the outside. Did he use Eric Hutton to get up here? And will he go for the win? Peek to the inside, almost 3 wide.
Hutton's got to be really careful leaving that hole open because we know he might be willing to take it. They stack up off of turn number 4. 3 laps to go for the World Center of Racing. Banks to the inside, Hutton to the outside in the 88. Now, no line able to stall out. The bottom lane just doesn't have enough cars now. The rules have been reversed. How about Noah Mikulski in the 03, peeking his head in a bit of this battle. The bottom surges to the inside, now pulls even with Hutton off of turn number 2.
Off the exit of turn 2, it's neck and neck for the 35 of Banks. This race still very undecided. Nobody knows. We could still have a caution. We've ran it clean and green all the way through 77 laps. Can we make it all the way? These guys with 900 horsepower at their feet. And the 35 of Joshua Banks trying to clutch it back up here. Cockrell just not able to give him a good push. It's going to be Hutton this time by.
2 to go. 2 to go. Is anybody to try to maybe make a third line? Is there enough energy in this pack to generate a third line? Hatchell, Mikulski, Massey is in this as well. Then you got the 3-lap cars of, then you got, it's Downey, Trejo, and I believe McFadden. Right now it is a 7-car race for the win. A lap and a half to go here from Daytona.
Down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. I can tell you what, I was not having faith in Joshua Banks being up there by himself, but now that they're double filed, this could be the best position for the 35. The only moves he really has to worry about is if that 48 and 88 can clear him here as they go into 1. White flag in the air. Joshua Banks on point. The 88 of Hutton comes from a 5-second deficit back to the front with the help of Jeff Wright. The 84 of Seth Hatchell. Where does he go?
This is where it gets good. A half a lap to go in the season opener, the inaugural race in the Saturday Night Racing League. Mikulski looks middle, goes back up to the outside. Hutton surges ahead, on board with the 48. He gives a shove. Hutton clear. Does Wright get to clear? The bottom surging ahead. Banks doesn't have a push. Hutton, can he do it off of turn 4? Wright giving him another push. They stack up to the outside at the line. Checkered flag. Banks surges to the bottom. Banks gets him at the line!
What a finish in the 35, able to clear the 88 just as they crossed.
Hutton got him. Hutton actually got it. Hutton by 3/1000ths of a second.
That is
It looked
unbelievable.
like Banks
iRacing
got
couldn't
him.
even figure it out.
Well, I thought Banks got him at the line, but no, Eric Hutton gets the win at Daytona, the inaugural winner in the Saturday Night Racing League. How about it for Eric Hutton? From
Can't
5
believe
seconds back.
The
5 seconds
push.
back.
That was what a push there. He should be shaking Jeff Wright's hand right now.
He should be. Eric Hutton, how about it? I thought Banks got it. My apologies. It looked like he did. He had such a huge surge on the bottom. If we want to take a look at that finish. What a race. What a race to the finish. From 5 seconds back, Eric Hutton able to run the pack down and get to win as he'll burn
I guess we'll call
down,
it. That's burn it down.
Yeah, let's see what he does here.
He might be out of fuel. I don't know.
No, he's good. He's got something in the tank. Man, what a race. What a race there at the end. Hutton, just out of nowhere, once he got that track, had such a big run, was able to make moves, as you can see, burning it out here in front of the fans at the World Center of Racing. There's really nothing like winning at Daytona. As, well, this is going to be a milestone for the Saturday Night Racing League, as Eric Hutton is the inaugural winner of this racing league, and it'll be his first win, and he'll be leading the points in the next week at Auto Club Speedway. How about that for Eric Hutton? What a finish this. We'll take a look at what happened here. Off of turn 4, Banks was able to side draft. That top lane got stacked, and then we'll see, looks like Banks had such a massive run, he almost got him to the line. From the angle we had, it looked like, I mean, look at that. That is so close. It looked like Banks got it, but no, Eric Hutton able to edge him out. I don't know if we have one at the start-finish line right at the wall, but look at the run the 35 was able to generate. But man, Eric Hutton, just by the skin of his teeth, is able to hold on by 3/1000ths of a second. If I had to guess, that's about, I don't know, 8 or 9 inches.
That's the thickness of a piece of paper. I don't even think that you can measure that. That is incredible. And after
That
they
is
cross the
the closest
line
finish
there.
I've seen. That has got to be the closest finish I think I've seen here at Daytona. I mean, it doesn't get any closer than that. What a finish from the World Center of Racing. As you can see one more time, you can see just a massive push from Cockrell to the back of the 35. You'll see him cross the line here, and I mean, Hutton just edges him out there. Man, what a race. But, well, we'll be right back after a quick commercial break to talk to the inaugural winner of the Saturday Night Racing League, Eric Hutton, and your top three as well. So stick around for post-race interviews, and we'll be right back after this.
Oh, big wiggle. And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A push for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
You see it now?
Coming back live here, SNR with an excellent finish here tonight Eric Hutton edges out Joshua Banks by 3/1000ths of a second. Officially, the 88 of Eric Hutton gets the victory. Post-race interviews with your top three, and we're running down pit road right now with Alec Martinez. He is caught up to your third place finisher, Jeff Wright.
I'm happy for Jeff Wright. We already know you're here. We were talking to you before. Jeff, you push Eric Hutton, your teammate, all the way up from 5 seconds back to the lead pack. You start racing up with him. You push him off of turn 4 to a victory. How was it there? What did you maybe need to get by the 88?
I was committed just to pushing Eric there at the end. I didn't really think I was going to be able to make a move. I wanted to get Eric a win for Hutton Motorsports, and what a finish. That was just incredibly close. Joshua Banks there made, that run at the end. We thought he was going to maybe inch ahead of him, and I thought he did actually at the checkered. But I saw on the relative it switched, said Eric Hutton P1, and our whole channel just went wild. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun tonight. These Gen 4 cars, aren't really the best, known for plate racing. It can be hard to push. These cars get really squirrely when they're getting pushed like that. So towards the end, though, I just said all bets are off here. I'm just going to push as hard as I can. I was overheating, that entire time we were trying to make ground, and I kept trying to breathe the car, get some air to the nose. Last lap, I think we took the white, and I was at 285, and I was just hoping and praying that the engine was going to last, and I think we got up to 292 on the temps, and somehow we're able to bring it home P3. So I'm really just glad that I finished the race P3, but even more stoked for Eric Hutton to get the win here at Daytona. It's just super awesome. Hutton Motorsports, and we got Eric Hutton the win, and it's just a great way to start the season off. Super stoked.
It is, and obviously quite the finish for obviously the kickoff to this league, and now next week the real season, the swing of things begin. Auto Club Speedway all the way out to the West Coast. How do you feel about going out there next week?
We're really looking forward to Auto Club. This car and Auto Club, it is just such a fun combination for sure. This car, it's got the horsepower. You can get the car yacht out. You can drive it off the right rear. And we're expecting a better attendance, especially next week for sure for Auto Club. So we're hoping to have a better turnout. Just big thanks to everybody that showed up tonight and had a good time. That was definitely a crazy finish for sure. But yeah, I think it's anybody's game. Go to Auto Club. You run the bottom, the middle, the top, and everything in between at Auto Club. So yeah, we're gonna go there. I think it's gonna put on a great show. But just happy to get this season going, and thank everybody for being here tonight. That was a blast.
It was indeed. Well, before we let you go, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, big thanks to you guys up in the booth. Alec, I know you're filling in for Connor Horn tonight, so thank you for being on standby so that you could come call this race with Bradley. Both you guys do such a good job, and it's a lot of fun to go back and watch these. Got a big thanks to the sponsors that help donate to make this league happen, pay for expenses. Harpoon Design, Tractor USA, Walking and Rolling Costumes. And then some guys that have donated, money out of their own pocket. Ray Massey, Andrew Tolganoff, Chris Rude. Just the donation so that we can come out and do this and pay for a broadcast and have a really good team like you guys do this. Just makes it all that much better. And then just everybody showing up tonight, and then everybody that plans to race in this league later this season. We're excited for this season, and we're just looking forward to get back to Auto Club at this point. I think it's going to be a great time.
For sure, man. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish, and we will talk to you hopefully next week in Auto Club.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Alec, with a finish like that, man, I would be excited for this season too, because we have.
I would be. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Closest finish we've seen here on VSPEED thus far. Incredible race from start to finish. 900 horsepower going green at Daytona. You tell me that, and I'm calling you a liar.
I tell you. Well, I think these cars have the restrictor plates on them because of the way they were centered. But unfortunately, like I said, still great racing and an amazing photo finish by 3/1000 second, 3/100,000. I can't talk. 3/1000.
It was milliseconds.
There we go. It was close, inches if you so will. And unfortunately, the guy that had to end up on the short end of the stick was second place finisher Joshua Banks. Joshua Banks, you got a copy, driver?
I got you, buddy.
Well, buddy, it was really, really close. Maybe inches, if you so will, to decide that one, buddy. What more did you maybe need to get that little bit of a deficit covered?
just a little bit more help from Clifton. I mean, I know he was doing all he could, but I just needed a little bit more, and it would have done something. I think if we had a couple, like a car length more going into 3, coming off of that, we would have been pretty set to maybe crossing the finish line first. It's just how Daytona goes, man. You can either be the winner or be the loser by just inches. And unfortunately, it's me. So
Well, buddy, next week we go to Auto Club Speedway. We're a little hot and slick, most likely, with these cars, high horsepower. How do you feel about going out to the West Coast?
well, we'll see. I mean, how schedule goes if I'll show up. But because I'm kind of doing this season part time, it's not going to be every week. But if I do make it, the experience there from BTDY this week wasn't great. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes if we do race it. And I hope that it's going to burn right rear more than right front that race, because that's what it did the one before, burn the right front. You would have never thought it. But it's a fun track, very fun track, very good track to race on. I mean, like tonight, we had good racing. It's going to put on some good racing then too as well with this car. So whoever shows up to that race, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will. It's going to be some great racing throughout.
For sure. Well, again, brother, congratulations on the second place finish. Before I let you go, anybody want to give a shout out to for tonight?
Oh, man, Alex Bell, buddy. Got to shout him out. We were kicking butt tonight for 75 laps, putting the hammer down, just missed it by just a little bit on communication, and it kind of messed us up a little bit there. And I'm sorry for Bell about that, for him getting a little spun out. But shout out to him, though. He made the calls, all the calls tonight to get us up there in the front to get us a chance to win. So shout out to him. Shout out to you guys up in the booth for doing an awesome job with the broadcasting. Glad you're all on board for this season, for this league. It's going to be fun to watch. Even if I don't make it, it's going to be cool to watch y'all broadcast it. And then, of course, Matco Tools, got to shout them out, you know, being a sponsor on the car. And last but not least, my YouTube channel and Twitch, Banksy the iRacer. Come check us out, hang out, leave a follow, subscribe. Be greatly appreciated.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on second place finish. Hopefully, we'll see you next week at the Auto Club Speedway.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. That's Joshua Banks, your second place finisher, and we'll move it up to where Bradley is standing in victory lane with our winner of the inaugural Saturday Night Racing League, Eric Hutton. Bradley, take it away, driver.
So I don't even know, Eric, scoring unofficially put the 35 of Banks in front of you and then reverts back after a second of crossing the line. It's almost like iRacing was like, oh, wait a second. This is a new scoring loop. Here you go, Eric Hutton. You're the victor by 3 thousandths of a second. Unbelievable finish here in the inaugural race. It's Saturday Night Racing.
Yeah, we were all surprised crossing the line. They're like, oh no, and then like 3 seconds later, like, oh yeah, we got it. But man, just it was all Jeff pushing me there for the last like 40 laps or whatever it was. Just tires off the ground, man. So he was at 292 degrees at the finish, and it held on, and we managed to get it done.
Yeah, I could see right here in the replay footage, the grill is practically part of the rear spoiler of that car. He pushed you all the way through 3 and 4. Now, you guys were about 5 seconds back with the 15 to go, and that front tandem had a couple lap cars that hit pit road. Then the 15 of Bell gets shuffled out, gets sent to the grass, and then it was just momentum from there. Talk us through what was going through your head. Did you think that you had a shot at it with 15 to go?
No, we were watching the times, and we couldn't really figure out. Like Jeff was having to, manage his temperatures, and we'd gain a little and lose a little. And I honestly stopped looking, and then probably 10 to go or whatever it was, we all of a sudden gained like a second or two. So I don't know what was going on in that front pack, but the timing was right, and we tried a weird strategy to pit early and get all the stocks done, and that was clearly not the move when we couldn't clear the pack in the first run. But I don't know what happened. We managed to get up there, and then it was just kind of luck from there.
We had several different guys get some penalties, some situations changed. This race went green all the way through, and you're able to get it done. How much does it mean for a Daytona win compared to a race that might have a green-white checker, or a race that might get, as we would call, rained out, I guess, with issues or things that the pack shrinking down? This race was between everyone the whole race.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just been so long since I've won anything. I don't care how how I get it. If a win's a win. So, but yeah, no, it's cool to start off the league with a win and hopefully be able to carry that momentum.
Mr. Consistency in other leagues that we've watched you at. Congratulations on the victory here in the inaugural race at Daytona. Eric Hutton, do you have anyone you would like to shout out or thank for tonight's performance?
Yeah, Jeff Wright for basically driving a car for me the entire race. Just pushed on my bumper. I swear the nose was like pointing down. It looked like from a camera angle, but everybody that raced with us, shout out to Hutton Motorsports making its debut back in Victory Lane. Got a great engine program over there, holding on to temps forever.
Those things going 293. I don't know what kind of engine R&D you guys got going on, but keep it up.
It took a lot of time off, but everybody putting this league together. Chad, Reggie, Jeff, everybody. Pretty cool deal here with the new car, the Gen 4 car. So looking forward to a good season.
We're looking forward to it as well. Eric Hutton, congratulations on your victory and a great start here to the season at SNR. We appreciate your time, driver, and we look forward to seeing you at Auto Club.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
There's your race winner by 0.003 of a second. Eric Hutton able to get it done. He should thank Jeff Wright. I would be shaking that guy's hand. Hutton Motorsports putting it up on the podium. First and third here tonight, or first and second. Well, first and third, yeah. The 48. Great job, guys, and appreciate your time. So, Alec, it was a great race all the way through. Any thoughts on recap? I'm at a loss for words.
What a great race, clean and green the entire way, and this just shows us this league's going to deliver some amazing racing. So I'm looking forward to seeing you and Connor covering, and myself maybe even being a part of it. So it's going to be an awesome season. Really looking forward to what's to come for the Saturday Night Racing Leagues. We'll take a look at our results from the inaugural race at Daytona. Eric Hutton, your winner, and probably with the closest finish that we've ever seen here on VSPEED, as Joshua Banks second by 3/1000 of a second. Jeff Wright third, Clifton Cockrell in fourth, Seth Hatchell fifth, Noah Mikulski in sixth, Ray Massey seventh, Alex Bell in eighth, Reggie Ortega ninth, and second if I find Casey Shue is going to round out your top 10.
Moving on to the 11th position. That would be the number 25 of Tim Downey. Stayed out there quite a long time trying to hold on for a caution. Just couldn't get it. 71 of Mark McFadden is going to finish 12th. Eddie Trejo is going to be in 13th position. Max Cost going to be 14th position. These cars from 11th down, one lap. That was the key right there. That top 10. It was a struggle all night. To make any mistakes, you paid for it. Stand green. 15th position will belong to Levi Alsman. Michael Sturgill in the 90 machine led some laps here tonight. He's going to finish 16th with Chad Klinger in 17th position. James Loveland, he had a tough night tonight in the 56. He's going to be 18th. And then rounding out your field will be Caleb Weekly in the 13 with early problems with that wall. But I tell you what, it was great all the way through. If you guys like this broadcast, if you love what you saw on VSPEED, the closest finish we've ever saw here at VSPEED, make sure you guys leave us a follow, subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty of other leagues coming up. July 7th, we're going to have a Friday night league. We've got BTDY on Tuesday nights. We've got VSRL on Monday nights. We've got the BMW Car Club of America on Thursday nights. We've got all kinds of selections and varieties of racing with different varieties of drivers and personalities. And Alec Martinez, I'm glad you joined me up here in the broadcast booth tonight. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody here at VSPEED, including Adam Baker, this is Bradley Cooper, Alec Martinez, thanking you for your time and signing off as we burn it down one last time with the 88 of Eric Hutton, your winner here tonight. Saturday Night Racing League, signing off. Take care, everybody.
here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Around gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A push for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.